Hello friends, maybe you didn't know this about me, but I am probably considered a fabric snob, at least a self-proclaimed fabric snob. We did a video recently about where to buy fabrics now that Joann's is gone. It's been very well received. The comment section is amazing. In fact, we put together a document if you want to download that and get the whole outline of how to buy fabric now that Joann's is gone. But we're gonna talk about how to use, we call them linens. The things that you're gonna find out thrifting and antiquing, you know, doilies, just different tablecloths and sheets and things. And I wanna talk about some really creative things you can do with them, because you might be out there shopping and just glazing over thinking, I don't need another placemat. I don't need another curtain panel. And yes, you're right if you're talking about using it for that original purpose, but I want to give you some ideas beyond their original purposes, and then maybe it'll be more fun when you're actually out there and you run into antique and vintage linens that you feel like you should like, but you just are stumped on what to do with them. And if you love antiquing as much as I do, you have to come to the Bespoke Design Retreat this May. We're gonna be in Massachusetts. It's a 4-day retreat. We're gonna spend one of our days at the Brimfield Antique Show, which has been called the world's best flea market and antique show. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I've been there, it is amazing, and I'm gonna share with you my favorite little booths and little secrets of where to park and what to eat. We're just gonna have a blast. So don't dally. We have tickets going for sale right now, and the retreat is coming super fast. So, okay, we are in my kitchen. We're gonna move around the house a little bit today because it's fun, but we'll start in the kitchen. Let's go over to this corner. I'm gonna share with you something that you may not recognize. The first thing I'm gonna share with you is a bistro apron. I made this apron from a men's dress shirt. I actually got it for free at a garage sale. It was in the free box. And I used the sleeves to make this apron strings. That's what they're called, apron strings. And this is the back of the shirt. See how it like scoops down in the back. Oh, and then the pocket was the front panel right here. Anyway, so free bistro apron right there. So if you love a pattern on a men's dress shirt, I'll link that blog post for you, and maybe you could turn it into a little apron. Number 2 would be doilies. Now, my dear friend Anne crocheted these for me, and so they are truly washcloths, but I want you to think about doilies in the same way. So do you know what I'm talking about? They're these crocheted, oftentimes round pieces that, I mean, if you're an Anne Green Gables fan, you know it's impossible to keep house without. How many numbers are we supposed to have in our house? To keep a proper house, we're supposed to have doilies under everything. I think they did that to help with dusting. Seems like it would create more work for that. I don't love the intended purpose of a doily. I like them for washcloths. They have a little bit of texture. They look beautiful on your sink. And so grab those, use them in your kitchen. Eventually they will fall apart, but they were loved and used until the end. And I think that that's honestly, I think we need to get that mindset about our secondhand linens. I also think they are beautiful at Christmas time. They look like snowflakes. You can use them for buntings, even if you just folded them over and stitched them on a ribbon. It'd be very beautiful. And just a reusable party decoration you could use at birthday parties. And then if it's an odd shaped one, like I had a bird like this big. That was my grandmother's, and I inherited it and I didn't know what to do with it. And I ended up thinking, I had this little spark of inspiration one day, and I put it on a linen skirt that I had. And so it kind of it looked like a knockoff poodle skirt. That is such a cute idea. If you have the right piece of clothing to put a doily on where that is, I don't know, some animal or something, like, what in the world am I supposed to do with this? That's a great solution. And I don't know why I didn't say that sooner. These are not just thrifted and antiqued, they are oftentimes inherited, which comes with a whole nother level of pressure and maybe guilt about getting rid of grandmother's linens. So hopefully this video is really helpful to you. The next one's super fun. It's an idea of what to do with a table runner. This was originally a table runner. I think I paid $1 for it or something ridiculous. I just cut it in half and folded it over and hemmed it really quick. I mean, it's like a 15-minute project. Here's another table runner that I cut in half and made this. I mean, look at that, like that blue embroidery on there and that crocheted trim that will ruffle on the edge. This was a table runner. I think I got this one for free. Anyway, I have this on another window in my house, and that's a really great creative way to use a runner that you don't mind cutting in half. I don't actually have these curtains anymore, but I remember that I made these years ago. I called them my no-sew curtains, and they were made with a table runner too, but it was doilies, crocheted doilies stitched together, which totally looked like a snowflake montage, but it was long enough that I could snip just the connecting threads between sections of those doilies and use them like trim at the bottom of curtain panels. And at the time, I called them no-sew because I said you could even hot glue a table runner to the bottom of curtain panels. I still would say it's better to at least hand stitch those so they can go through the wash. But that was an old DIY, an oldie but a goodie. I love a good secondhand find with my textiles, but sometimes I need to buy new things. And in those situations, I turn to companies like Boll & Branch. This is a luxury home essentials brand, and they are known for incredibly soft, high quality bedding. They also have some furniture. They have dog beds now. You know, sometimes you don't need a new mattress. You don't need all new skincare. You just need some new bedding so you can sleep comfortably. I've noticed that when I have good bedding, my temperature will be regulated, I'll sleep deeper, my skin will look better in the morning because it's against natural fiber. Millions of Americans trust Boll & Branch for their quality bedding, including 3 US presidents, and you can choose from over 30 different sheet styles. If you want to try out the fabric that you're interested in, they have free swatches, and shipping is free if you spend $100 or more. Click on the link in the description below and use my code SheHoldsDearly15 to get an exclusive discount just for my viewers. And take this step to getting a better night's sleep. All right, the next thing that I think you should look for are dust ruffles, any size dust ruffles. And I'm gonna give you a few creative things you can do with them. One, you can layer them. You can put, especially if one is colored underneath and the one on top is lacy or has, it's more delicate, more feminine, you can layer them and create sort of a custom look for your bed. This is a dust ruffle that I stitched on top of a piece of linen. I had to take 2 pieces of linen and stitch them together. And then I literally took my sewing machine and came back through with this pretty dust ruffle. It made such a sweet blanket, and I keep it in my car. I think it's really light and beautiful, easy to use for picnics and things like that. Twin size dust ruffles are the perfect size for those 6-foot banquet tables. I'll pull those out when I'm doing parties or I'm doing Thanksgiving dinner or something, and it's just such an easy tablecloth solution. Then here's another one. You can tell I'm really drawn to things that are crocheted and are just, you know, creamy or white. And I cut it straight down the middle. It was twin size. I cut it straight down the middle and I made curtain panels. Now they're not super wide, but if you have a smaller, like a more narrow window, this could be a really pretty look. So it looked like this on the window. Kind of boho and dreamy. Okay, let's spend a moment on tablecloths. The ones I'm picturing of in particular are all crocheted, the entire thing. I grew up with these. My grandmother had a lot of them that she left for my mom, but they didn't get used very much. There was a buffet in our dining room that was packed full of antique linens, and they maybe came out once a year, probably not. So the easiest thing you can do with those crocheted tablecloths is put them either across the end of a bed or over the back of a couch, drape them over the arm of a chair. They are so lovely for having a color kind of peek through all that lacy texture. So I really love them on the back of a couch or on the foot of a bed or something. That's an easy one. I love using them for tree skirts at Christmas, again, because they have that sort of snowflake feel to them. And then this one, you would have to make sure that you're not emotionally tied to your tablecloth, but you can turn it into a little girl's tent. I did this for my nieces years ago, and it was their Christmas gifts. I had 2 sets of nieces, and each set got one of my lace tablecloth tents. So that is a darling idea for little girls. The other type of tablecloth that you'll run into are these round tablecloths. I actually have 3 of these exact same tablecloths, and I bought them separately. I don't know, is that a thing in my town or something? But of course you can use it like a round tablecloth, or I've folded it in half and sort of like draped it like a bunting along the top of my piano, and then a picture leaned against it. And then the other thing you could do, again, like some of these things require that you actually cut into your linens, and I understand that that doesn't work for everything. But I cut this round tablecloth straight into the middle. I hemmed it, and this is actually my tree skirt under one of my Christmas trees. You may recognize it. Just a round tablecloth. I mean, why not? Number 7 would be to grab some of those old handkerchiefs. I made this years ago. I made 4 of them actually. Some of them were gifts. This is a piece of driftwood from my parents' beach house. These were my mother's handkerchiefs. Gifted them and then used them for summer decor. We're actually gonna make this exact same little DIY at Bespoke this year. So our trip in May includes 3 different DIY. Hey, what are you doing? Get down. So I always include 3 DIYs in our bespoke design retreats. In the past, we've done gilding, we've made candles. Last year, we antiqued mirrors. So this year, we're gonna have a painting class because we are in Norman Rockwell's hometown. That's our location this year, and we couldn't not do a painting class. So we'll be painting, and we'll make our sailboats, and then another DIY. All right, let's call number 8 bedding. So this would be pillowcases, it would be sheets, it would be blankets. And yes, you can put those on beds, although at some point you have too many of those things. I haven't hit that spot, but maybe you have. But here's some thoughts about pillowcases. So I love king size pillowcases for lining hampers. You can use them for that. I made a hamper, a rolling hamper out of fencing wire a long time ago. I'm really like pulling up some old DIYs here. I'll link these blog posts for you. But it's the perfect size for a king size pillowcase. So I keep my wrapping paper in those, and then of course I use them as clothes hampers too. I'm always on the hunt for quilts and for wool blankets. Those are my 2 like big blanket items that I'm always looking for. So I found this beautiful wool blanket, and I bought this trim on Amazon, crocheted, of course. And I added this little trim. I hand stitched it, and I loved the contrast of sort of the masculine wool fiber with the delicate lace trim. So you could dress up a wool blanket like that. And then sheets. Okay, sheets are a large piece of fabric. So think of them like that. I've used them for slip covers. I've made pillow covers. Let me show you some of my pillow covers. You may recognize these from Christmas, but there's these. Lots of pillows you can make with sheet fabric or any large piece of fabric. I've made dust ruffles out of sheets. I've made dog beds out of sheets that I like. And so think of them as a large piece of fabric, and also grab large pieces of fabric that speak to you. You don't even have to have the idea of what you're gonna do with it. Just get it because you love the fabric, and then maybe later it becomes part of an accent chair or an ottoman or something like that. Well, you know how they say that necessity is the mother of invention? Years ago, I needed a window screen. I didn't want to wait for my husband to make one or for me to have to buy one. And so I took a lace panel and I made this. It is literally a curtain panel that I got at the thrift store. The holes are small enough so it acts like a screen. I built this very simple frame, painted it, stapled it on the back. You can see it looks like this. It is the size of the window that I needed it for, so I just put it into place and left the window open all through the summer months, and it was wonderful. I loved it. This would be a really beautiful idea in a store if you need a divider, something like that. Use your lace panels. We made it to number 10. I'm going to encourage you to buy pieces that are embroidered that really speak to you. You can use it on the back of a chair like I did here with an upholstery project that I did. You can, of course, make pillows out of them. Here is one I made. Do you recognize this? This is actually my logo wreath. And this was a DIY that we made at the Bespoke Design Retreat 2 years ago. We made this. This was one of the DIYs. It was so fun to have everyone sitting around, and we called it our sewing circle, and we were working on embroidering our wreaths. And here's the finished look. So if you haven't already signed up for that Bespoke Design Retreat, I'm telling you, girl, this is a trip of a lifetime, 4 days to get away, just surrounded by beautiful food, beautiful decor, classes, women from all over the country. We have a really amazing Bible study that we do, and we worship together. And I hear from these women all the time. They have made lifelong friends at the Bespoke Design Retreat. So I hope you can join us this year. All right, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything or other ways that you have used your linens to just bring more beauty and joy into your life. And I'm just so happy to be here and learn from you, learn from each other. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.